What's up? Got the last one, at least for today. It says, "What does giving up mean?" I got you. What does it mean to give up on someone? Is the title. When I say when I say give up on someone, what's the first thing that comes to mind? And then, you know, whatever, pause, whatever, and think about what the thing is that you think of. But it's something that most people don't understand. But there's a different way to see giving up. How? I got you. Basically, giving up on someone isn't about quitting on them. It's a heart thing. If you feel deeply in your heart that you love that person and that if they message or call you and told you everything and asked to take them back, you would agree. You see, people always mistake giving up as quitting. Like, if you do sports or something competitive and you lose, do you quit? Do you quit? No. You sharpen yourself so the next go you'll be ready and you win. That's what I'm saying. If you love someone, then give up on the idea of dating them for the moment and focus on sharpening yourself. So when you and said person cross paths again, you'll be you'll be wiser, you'll be more mature, you'll be more understanding to certain situations. And I promise you, when you and that person come together again, you'll definitely see if you're meant for that person. Just because someone keeps crossing paths with you doesn't mean they're right for you. But as long as you give it your all, there's nothing else you can do. But how can you give someone everything? How can you give someone everything you have if you yourself aren't 100%? So, basically there's two at least to me there's two different types of giving up. Either there's forever and then there's temporary. Forever is, obviously, we obviously know what forever means. I don't think I don't think I need to insult your intelligence to know, what that means, obviously. But as for temporary, you have to think about it as like sports or something competitive. Like, I don't know, like a basketball tournament or a football tournament or basketball game, football game, something like that. Like if you let's say it's like a tournament and you if you lose then you're out. It's the fact that if you lose, are you just gonna quit and then that's it? Like no. At least I hope it's not no. But it's the fact of you basically get up and you basically sharpen, like you sharpen your skills, you sharpen your mindset, to you sharpen a bunch of things so then when you come back you're more you're more mature, you're more understanding, you're you you realize a lot more, you understand so much more because of basically that temporary the time that you were basically separated and you know maybe maybe you both did equals amount of wrong. Maybe maybe you did both. Maybe you both did equal amounts of wrong, and you never really talked about it. Or maybe one person did some and another person did none. Or one person did a little bit and another person did a lot. But it's the fact that you never really had that conversation. Like you never really talked about it, which is normal. Most relationships don't. Like most it's like a little conversation and then that's it. But depending on what it is, I feel like it's better to have a longer conversation than it is to have a shorter conversation. It all simply depends on what it actually is that is being um, said, or what is not even what is being said, but more or less what is like who's in the wrong and basically why, basically who's in the wrong and why. But it's more or less of like giving up on someone. It doesn't have to mean you like it doesn't mean you quit on them. Like that's not, it doesn't have to mean that. Literally. Like like the whole term now, which is just so horrible, and I hate the fact that people have just basically destroyed that entire saying. But basically, when people say we should take a break nowadays, that yeah, that shit means like 70 different things now, which is just so annoying. But usually, like before, it meant like you kind of, you're on a break, but it's the fact that you're on a break, but you're not broken up, because both break and broken are two completely different things. You can break something, but if something's broken, you can fix something that's you can fix something that breaks a lot easier than you can fix something that's broken. So it's more or less one is definitely different from the other one. Not many people understand that shit, but it is what it is at the same time. But it's more of the fact of when that when that was said, like, let's take a break, it was more of a we need to we need to like step away from each other and kind of like understand each other, like understand us like a little bit more, and then like basically come to a conclusion of like what do we want to do. And it's the fact that like a break could last 6 months, 6 years. It doesn't. It there's really no telling on how long a break could last. It's basically, I'm not gonna say random because it's not really random. Well, in a way, it is random. I can definitely see how it could be random, but it's more or less of just at the time it's at the time it's at the time it's better to work on you, because most of the time you want to give someone 100% of yourself. But it's the fact that how do you go about giving 100% of yourself when you yourself aren't even 100%? You know, generally, like me for example, I'm not 100%. Like I just got done talking about telling the truth and shit. I did that before, but that was when that was when I was like what, 16, 17, and then somewhere along the line I just kind of plummeted. But what is the fact that it's familiar-ish to me, but at the same time it's still new. Like, there's a lot of things that I do now that are odd to me but are new. Like it's one of those things where you don't want to like. It's like in basketball or football or martial arts or something where like you learn a new move and you want to use it in the game, but it's the fact that you haven't used it enough to actually for it to actually be like effective. You know, because it's just like like it's the fact that I'm not 100%. It's the fact that I still need to something I didn't realize before, but it's the fact that I need to, you know, sharpen, just basically sharpen my, sharpen my mind, just basically sharpen everything. Yeah, more than my mind, but I'll figure that out later. But it's the fact that you need to just depending on whatever happens, my main thing that most people kind of like have agreed with me on, because I usually talk about this majority of the time, is that someone saying that they hate you out of anger is different than from someone saying they hate you when they're calm. Just let that sink in. Because it's true. How many how many arguments have you had with anyone and you say some very colorful things, and then like the next day or like the next time you see them, like the next day or the next time you see them, you're just like you feel bad about what you said, you know? Because it's one of those things where you said it out of anger. You said it out of like just being irritated or not understood or whatever the case may be. But like something I've always said is like if someone says something and they're calm, 9 times out of 10 they've like thought about it and they've basically done it. I found that TikTok. I'm glad this was what you called it. It was the TikTok that I was talking about before. It was on the reflection video that I made. And it was basically saying like how it was basically saying how this is a woman's talking about the way. It's basically talking about how women when they're checked out of the relationship, they're simply just there in hopes of their man seeing like seeing what they're seeing, if that makes sense, because it didn't make sense to me, and if I'm being honest, that was the dumbest thing I think I've ever fucking heard, because it's just like if you're there just because and you're waiting for something to change, oh my god, am I hoping? I'm hoping that you at least said something about it and not mentioning it. I'm talking about like genuinely saying like you need to do this or you need to change this. Like being very like direct to them and not just like dropping hints here and hints there. Men don't understand hints. They really don't. At least I don't. I know a lot of people that don't, actually. I just don't. It's just, I don't know. It's probably because how I'm wired, I'm guessing. I'm more of a just it's more of a, like a blunt thing. It's more of like a just straight, like straight to the point type of thing. But it's the fact that it has to, like, there's like, it's also a straightforward thing, but it also has to be like, you have to be like calm about it. You know? And just, and when it comes to like certain things, it's just like you get to be. I gotta see you. I gotta look you in your eyes. If I'm being honest, generally, because eyes will tell you everything. I'm not even joking. You could literally be with some. You could be dating somebody, and well, depending on how long you've been with that person, and you can look them in the eyes, not say anything, just look at them, and it's the fact that their eyes will tell you so much. Their eyes don't eyes don't usually lie unless someone is very good at like lying with their eyes, which is a genuine thing, by the way. I don't know why that's a genuine thing. It just is for some reason. I don't really know why though. It's a very weird reason, but it is what it is. But yeah, it's just there is a difference because I want to say I've talked about like the differences in it of like because you would think when someone says give up, you would think they mean quit, but it's just like give up doesn't always have to mean quit. Like give up could mean a break. Give up could mean a break. Give up could just mean you need a break. Or you need this. You need that. You know? I got all I really gotta say is just like if you deeply in your heart believe that they like that you love that person and they love you back, I will say don't give up on them immediately. Like don't like that's where that second part is. Like just kind of like just kind of tread water, basically. Like doggy paddle, basically. That's basically all, that's basically how I can really describe it. Just doggy paddle. Cause something I've definitely realized is most people go through like it's the fact that you can go through so many different things and someone asks you like why, and then you're just like, fuck if I knew. I don't know. Like I'm realizing new stuff all the time, which makes me feel like more of a piece of shit if I'm being genuinely honest. But I'm realizing more and more, and it's just like damn. Like I'm understanding where you know I'm understanding where I'm picking up what they're throwing down, and it's just like damn, and I just didn't understand it at all. That's insane. But yeah, I want to say there's definitely have like I'm not gonna say protocol. What is that shit called? Oh my god! When you're trying to like when you're trying to like prep something, because it's not protocol. It's like steps to certain things. Whatever that shit is, that it's like have like steps. Like like for me, for example, like it's like there's certain things that you need to know if you should give up or if you should just kind of just sharpen your skills. Like it basically is like, is there something there or is there nothing there? Basically. Like for mine it's more or less being calm, eye contact. That's pretty much it. Eye contact, staying calm, and then saying, you know, I don't love you, I don't care for you, leave me alone. That's it. Because if someone can say those three things to you while looking you in the eye and can be very calm about it, like it just doesn't matter at all, like you don't matter to them, it's time to pack it up. It really is. Because you can say one thing. It's weird because I I'll ask everyone. Literally, if you're talking to your significant other, you're doing this, you're doing that, whatever the case may be. Look at their eyes, like when they talk, because like you can say something, but your eyes do something different. It's very weird. Like, you can say one thing, but your eyes say another thing. It's odd, but it's one of those things of like, which one do you follow? It's like, do you follow what they said, or you follow their eyes, which are clearly not with what they said? It's one of those things where it's just like, interesting. But yeah, it's just like come up with something like that, like basically like a set of things that need to basically be checked off for you to actually like give up. And I'm about to go off topic right now, but the fact that like right now I generally don't care. I don't. Like, is the fact of the person that I'm thinking of that I'm sure y'all already know is the fact that if she checked all of those boxes, okay. But at the same time, I'm not going to move on. Genuinely, it's the fact that I genuinely can't, simply because it's not even because of the world itself or whatever the case may be. It's the fact that we basically got to the end. Like you always say, like people have like, oh, like you have like first base, second base, third, so on and so forth. But it's the fact that like we were literally rounding third base, and then like halfway through we just kind of like we just tripped and fell over our faces. you know, it's the fact that I've never had someone that's been on the same like wavelength as me. Like anyone that I've ever dated, I've never had them like they were never more on the same wavelength as me, and she was way more excited about it than me, which is like what the fuck, which kind of threw me off because I'm always the one that's like the most excited about it. But you know, it's definitely one of those things where just like I can't go from talking about our future to like I can't go from like, oh, I can't wait until we have a family to what's your favorite color. Like I can't. I simply cannot. I simply it's not even that I can't. It's simply that I won't. And it's the fact that I'm fine with that. I'm com- I'm completely fine with that. Like it's the fact of like it's the fact of I've written it's the fact that I remember so much that I've told myself, but that I would basically tell her, but she would be asleep. But so she doesn't obviously remember. And there's also some stuff that I've told her that I'm sure she just doesn't remember, because it was so long ago, you know. Well, like one of those things was just like one of those things was really one of those things were just like I don't care if we're not together anymore. The only thing I want for you is to be happy. That's it. If I had a wish, it would be that. Simple. It's the fact that I want them to be happy. I want her and her son to be happy. No matter what that looks like. No matter what that looks like. If it's with me, someone else, whatever. Like as long as she is happy, not even she, as long as they are happy, I don't care. I don't. Like I'm fine with being 70 and alone. As as depressing as that sounds, it's true. Like there's nothing is the fact that there's nothing that any other woman could offer me that would be better than her. Like when it comes to loving, caring nature, there's no one on this fucking planet that compares to that. Like that's like is like past my mom type beat, you know? Like think about that. Think about having a woman that loves and cares for you more than your mom. I guess depending on your background, that's not that. That's kind of a horrible way to kind of gauge that, if I'm being honest. Depending on your childhood, I guess. But regardless, just think of someone that like. Basically, think of someone that loved and cared for you, and then think of a woman, just a random woman that you met and you started dating and everything, that cares for you equally, if not more, than they did. Like that's you're not just gonna find that shit. Like that's not something that's just found commonly. You know, if it was, I feel like there'd be a lot less divorce. If I'm being genuinely honest. But it's just when it comes to certain things, like it's funny because I remember fucking crystal clear our first time that we ever slept on the phone. She fell asleep. I was still up doing school and whatnot, and I literally told her like, I want to marry you. Literally, like this was like what, the fucking second month of us dating or something. Like it was the fuck it was it, but it was something that like I don't know. It was weird because it was something that like it was just it was a weird feeling because it's the fact that when I said it, I didn't like cringe at it. At the same, like, it was like I smiled at it because it was just like if I had to pick anyone, you would be it, you know. But I've yapped about that for so much, but it's just what I do. I just be yapping. But that was pretty much it for the not giving up or like the difference between the two. Another thing I will say is for my channel, I don't know if the views are like people actually watching them or if they're watching them then closing the video out then clicking them again, because I want to believe that people are watching these, but I don't think 34 people watched a 33-minute video 34 times. That doesn't that no that doesn't seem like something that people would do or anyone would do, because who in their right mind is doing that? Like I still had an issue with the other one, which was just like it it was literally like it was an hour long and someone watched it 11 times. I doubt that someone watched some shit 11 times. Same with this one. This one was 3 hours long and 15 people 15 views on it. I doubt that someone watched literally 3 hours worth of something 15 times. There's no goddamn way. 3 hours of me talking? You must not like your eardrums, I guess, cuz my voice sucks. I do not have a good voice like at all. But, to each their own, I guess. But yeah, it's more the fact of like I'm not really mad at that, because it's just like the more views you get on YouTube, like the same with TikTok. Is like the more views you get, the more like the more reach you have, basically. Like the more like your videos or posts will reach other people. And like with that one comment of that person like saying like they appreciate like my video and everything, and they like the video really helped, like that's what I'm trying to do. Like that's the whole point of literally my like description for my channel and everything. It's literally just someone trying to stop others from making the same mistakes. Just just someone trying to stop others from making the same mistakes he made in his relationship that he regrets. Literally. Like that's why I'm doing these. There's really no other reason. It's just that. And it's the fact that it's the fact that I was gonna give up, but it's the fact that when I saw that comment, it was just like, it was like that's the reason why you do this. That's the reason. But you know, it's one of those things where it's just like I'm I'm fine with I'm content with knowing that she will never come back and I won't find anyone like her, and I'm fine with being alone because the fact of if I do end up trying to date someone else, it's the fact that I'm going to compare that person to her. I know it. That's the thing. I know it, and it's the fact that I personally don't want to put anyone through that just because I've been put through that. Not by her, but by other exes that I've had. You think I'm playing when I say that? I'm very much not. Like, oh my god. I had an ex literally buy me a whole wardrobe of clothes and cologne that was literally the same as her ex-boyfriend. I don't. That shit was just very weird when I found it out because I was just like, why? Like, why not just get back with him? Why are you trying to make me him? That makes no sense. But, it's one of those things where it's just like, I don't want to put someone through that. Like, it's the fact that I'm fine with helping people kind of understand that there are different ways to go and do different things, or how different things can mean, like how one thing can mean two different things. Like, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with helping people out, even though knowing that I won't be able to have that. In a way, it's my own sense of joy. It's my own sense of happiness. That kind of fills that part of me that won't really get the opportunity to, you know, be a husband, be a dad, be a grandpa, so on and so forth. So it's one of those things. Oh yeah, that's pretty much it. I can't think of anything else, but yeah. Oh, that's the fuck. I was like, what is that sound? What is the video playing over and over again? God damn. But yeah, that's pretty much it. There's not much else to really be said. I'm gonna start uploading. Well, yeah, start uploading these and everything, and I will catch y'all tomorrow. Peace.